say in Sefer Tanya that there's negative gevura, there's gevura de klipa, and there's gevura de kedusha. Gevura means dinim, judgments, right? Severities, bitterness. So there's the bad severeness, the bad bitterness, which is depression, that doesn't lead to anything good. And then there's bitterness, when you're bitter with yourself. Why did I do this sin? And why did I do that? And I have to wake up. What's wrong with me? And you're bitter a little bit, and then it makes you do teshuvah, and you come closer to Hashem, and then you're happy that you did teshuvah. That's gevura kedusha. That's being bitter with yourself for a holy reason. And when you're depressed, what did we say yesterday? We said you're depressed because you feel like I deserve. Why Hashem didn't give me this? Why this didn't work out? Why it's like this? So you feel entitled. And then when you have gevura kedusha and you're bitter with yourself and you realize I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, you humble yourself. You say, wow, of course Hashem's not going to give me. Look how many things I didn't do. So therefore, this gevura kedusha takes you out from the gevura de klipa, takes you out from the negativity of the sitra achra, and then you could come to joy. And the real hasadim is simha, is joy. Being like mean and bitter is dinim, is gevura. Hasadim represents giving, flowing, being happy. Everything's good, everything's great, light. And after you have gevura kedusha with yourself, you have bitterness with yourself, with the do mitzvot, then you'll come to the real joy. By reflecting on the positive meditation, you'll be able to give yourself comfort. And because you did gevura kedusha with yourself, you'll say to yourself in your heart, it's true, those actions I did before made me disgusting in the eyes of Hashem. However, at the end of the day, I have an animal soul, I have a yesara, and it's a test. Even in the lowest of the low, there's a piece of Hashem. And I still have a godly soul. And I have to give it one spark, and it's going to come back and take over everything. That's why it says, right, Yaakov is like a fire. Right? Yaakov is like a fire, and Esav is like kash. It's like hay, a lot of hay, right? And Esav, he can look like a big mountain of hay, and be like, oh, we're stronger than you. What are you going to do? Yaakov says, don't worry. I have Torah, I have fire. A small spark destroys everything of you, a whole stack in 1 second. So therefore, same thing over here. Even though we did a lot of mistakes and we did a lot of averot, as long as we give a spark to our nefesh elokit, it could destroy everything and change everything in 1 minute. All depends on if we have gevura de kedusha, and then we do the mitzvot of happiness. As the Lubavitch Rebbe Alav Hashem used to say, that all we need, each person is like a bulb or like a light, and we need from candle to candle. All we need is light a spark in every Jew, and the person will grow tremendously. And that's why they're so into mitzayim and doing kiruv and spark up as many Jews as you can and start the process. That's all you need to do. So he says, therefore I have to make it my will to get my nefesh lokit out of exile. When you follow your animalistic soul, where's your godly soul? Your godly soul is in exile. It's lost. You have to go bring it back. Yeah, says the Gemara. Says the Sefer Tanya, "Leshiva el beit avia kinorea." You should go and return it to your father's house as in their youth. As if when I was when it was before in my soul. When I was united with it, and therefore I could bring it back to that point, right? Especially mitzvah prayer, to cry to Hashem to help me. A big part of returning your godly soul and to follow your godly soul is by praying for it, asking Hashem to help you pray, to help you to conquer it, the Yetzirah. And this is what it means to do teshuvah and good deeds. The good deeds is to return your soul. What does it mean teshuvah and ma'asim tovim? The ma'asim tovim will help you bring back your godly soul and make the godly soul in charge. There's only one driver. What's the one driver? You choose. Yitzhar Tov. There's famous mashal where there was a rich guy driving the horse, and the poor guy was schlepping. Okay? He was walking to the city while the rich guy was on the horse driving. with the horse, getting there fast. So the poor guy sees the rich guy on the horse. He says, listen, you're going to the city. He said, yeah, give me a tramp, give me a ride. Take me with you. Why should I schlep walking the whole rest of the way? He said, okay, no problem. So get on the back. So he gets in the back. He says, listen, and I'm scared. It's not comfortable. Put me in front of you, and you'll lead. You'll hold the reins. And he says, okay, fine, no problem. Chesed, I'll do chesed with the guy. He puts him in the front. The second they get into the city, what does he do? He says, Ganav, Ganav, Ganav. Poor guy screaming, Ganav. And they say, everybody comes, the people from the town say, what happened? What happened? The poor guy says, this guy jumped on my horse, and before I came to the city, he's stealing my horse. Get him off, get him off. And the rich guy says, the audacity, chutzpah, I give you chesed, and you're telling me it's your horse? So the people said, get off, get off. He says, no, it's my horse. They said, my friend, who's holding the reins? Who's the driver? Here's the driver's seat. What are you saying? Get out of here. And they kicked him out. They kissed him. And he lost his horse. He had to kill a bedin, he had to fight him. Whole balagan. And the judge told him, but listen, I know you're right. He says, but you made a mistake. Why did you let him have you should have never gave him the driver's seat. Why are you giving? That's the biggest mistake. Now it's going to be very hard to get it back. It's the same thing with us. There's only one driver for our life. Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Hara. It's your fault. It's a big mistake. Oh, but Rabbi, the Yetzer Hara got me. How can I beat the Yetzer Hara? Yetzer Hara is impossible to beat. You're right, Yetzer Hara is very hard to beat. The question is, why did you give him the reins to begin with? Why did you let him make decisions to begin with? And now, once you give him decisions, the ability to give decisions, it's so much harder to bring it back to the Yetzer Tov should be in charge. And this will be your lifelong task, to be done with great joy, the joy of the soul and its release from a disgraceful body. So that way, you'll be able to do teshuvah, and you'll go and give back your soul the way it came to this world, right? Because it says that the tzaddikim, they're like mashal, like the servants. The king said, guys, be ready. Here's uniforms. We're going to have a party. When? He didn't say. We're going to have a party soon. Be ready. Okay, so they wore the uniform, and they always be careful. They're always careful. They were very dedicated servants. They're always careful that the uniform should be clean. They never know when they're going to get called. But the other guys who were bums, they're not so serious. They got dirty, they got sweaty, they didn't take care of it. They said, we'll do dry cleaning, we'll wash it afterwards. Then all of a sudden the king said, 1 hour, it's a party, get ready. All the tzaddikim, all the very dedicated individuals, they said, okay, no problem, I'm ready. I didn't get it dirty, I watched it, I guarded it. But the people who weren't ready, they got dirty. They said, in 1 hour, how can we get everything done? We're going to come like this, and the king punished them. Same thing with us, our neshama, we never know when it's going up. Do teshuvah 1 day before you die. When is that? So that's why you have to make sure your neshama always, chiste, always, every single time. Why? You never know when Hashem's going to ask for the deposit back. Baruch Naonam.